أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, brothers. Alhamdulillah, we start by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we send our salam and salawat on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we refresh our intention that we are putting our time and learning the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only to please him and follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So in our learning journey of Arabic of the Quran, we have done almost 9 lessons so far, and brothers should have provided me the email address. I have given him the lessons. Yesterday we started a new lessons of the ism, basically one special kind of ism, and they are called pronouns. And like just in English, we have he, she, I, we, me, all these pronouns. So we talked about pronouns yesterday, and as promised, inshallah ta'ala, today we'll have a very quick review, and then we'll do some exercises on them, inshallah ta'ala. So before we start, we went through this yesterday, and before also, this was our first 7 or 8 lessons, where there are 3 types of word and their properties, the 4 types of properties, and then how we find out whether a ism is a plural or is a pair from our chart, from our Muslim chart. We also talked about the gender, how many words are feminine, masculine, and is there any other way to recognize the feminine plurals. We also talked about type, whether a word is a common or a proper. So we will have seven different ways to talk about this. So inshallah, we went through all these ones. Some of the brothers actually yesterday told me that they are just joining these classes soon. So inshallah on the weekdays, after the Fajr, if you let me know if you have times, I will go through them again, face to face, individually, so that you can pick up with the pace, inshallah. Also, before I forward, I asked 1 or 2 brothers about the Ramadan time, because the Ramadan is coming in a month. I have no problem continuing on the weekend of this program, because alhamdulillah we have another facility, because as you know that in Ramadan time, after the Fajr, a lot of people stay back till Salatul Duha, they recite the Quran. So if you guys are okay, then we can do this, continue our classes for 20 minutes or so after the Fajr in the other side, because we don't have that many sisters in the Fajr time, so we should have this place, there's a projector and everything there. So please let me know if you guys are okay to do that. If most of the brothers say yes, we will continue. I would prefer to continue, because if you give a big gap of 4 or 5 weeks, everybody will forget. So it's better to continue if you just let me know. But if you have to know I'm fasting and I don't want to do this, then we'll stop it, inshallah. We'll talk about this fragments. This is a different thing. That we'll talk about 5 fragments, and why we talked about this one last week. And this is related to our pronoun. That's why we review this one. That anything that construct between 2 words with a word of before this. The word before the of is called mudaf. The word after the of is called mudaf ilay. Okay, so if I say the book of Allah, the word the book is before the of, the book of Allah. So the book is called mudaf, and the word Allah is called mudaf ilayhi. Okay, I recited nahnu ansarullah. We talked about nahnu. What is nahnu means? We. And ansar means helper. Ansarullah. So ansarullah, the ansar, does it have alif lam? No. Does it heavy? No, it's ansaru. Okay, and then the word Allah. So we, ansar of Allah, meaning we are the helper of Allah. So when Isa asked in the surah that I was reciting, that who will be my helper? His disciples say, nahnu ansarullah. So we are the helper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is how we come. So we know the nahnu word now. We know what is ansarullah, this mudaf ilayh. So ansar is the word mudaf or mudaf ilayh, the word ansar? Mudaf. And Allah, the word Allah is mudaf ilayh. And word Allah, the rule for the mudaf ilayh must be jar condition, the mudaf in the jar status basically. So these are the rules that it cannot have light and alif lam in this one. Then we talked about pronoun yesterday. I think 1 or 2 brother Manzur was not here yesterday, right? So he is here? Okay, good. So the 2 types of pronoun, independent and attached pronoun. And then we talked about we must memorize the pronoun chart. There will be a lot of memorization coming also soon, in the later lecture there, because in every language you have to memorize one part of it. You can't just all mismatch like math. This is language you're learning, inshallah. So this is the pronoun chart. So basically third person, second person, and first person, like ana and nahnu. And if when ana becomes a nasab, it's become ni, and nahnu become when it is jar, is become e. So like if I say I traveled, okay, I traveled to Bangladesh, okay. So what will be the I? Is the I will be ana or ni or e? Ana. Why ana? Because I is doing the job in the sentence. I travel. There's no other people. I'm just talking about myself. I travel to Bangladesh. Okay. If I say they met me in the airport, they met me. So what me will be there? Is it gonna be ana again, or is it gonna be ni, or is it gonna be e?
Ni.
It's gonna be ni, not e. Why ni? Because who did they meet? They meet me. So the I is a nasab here, because we know the nasab version is ni. If I say, then they took my bag, they took my bag, it will be e, because it's like my bag means bag of mine. So the of it comes after. So it could be like they took bag e, like and if you do half English, half Arabic, like that way. So they took bag e, meaning that e, the jar version will come, because there's an of my bag, has an of between it. Okay. So this is how we will remember this. Also, we say that this is a special kind of some words. So, okay, don't worry about how they are ending. Doesn't matter if they have an alif at the end or there's kasra at the end. All these things, it doesn't matter. You just memorize them. And the top version, as I say, rafa here, and this is the attached version. It could be nasab or jar. Now, then we talked about that when a ism comes beside a pronoun, and the pronoun is attached with this one, that pronoun actually a construction of mudaf ilay. And we said the word before the of is mudaf, and the word after the word is mudaf ilay. And because mudaf ilay has to be in the jar, so we have to use the attached version of jar of this thing. So if we say Rabbihi, meaning the he's Allah or he's Rabb. Okay. If we say Rabbana, na comes from here. Rabba, the word Rabba, and then na from here, because our, so that's the nasab version. So attached pronoun, and you will find this every pages of the Quran, because there is pronoun everywhere. Okay. And then you should be able to translate that, if there's nothing between the ism and the pronoun and they're attached, nothing in between them, no letter, no other words, then definitely they're mudaf ilay. And you just put an off in between if you know the meaning of this word. Obviously, meaning of all this word, because you're going to memorize this. Okay. And then if you want the other word, then you should be able to find this one, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. And then we talked about, this is the things. Now today we're going to do some exercise. So brothers, whoever have a page and paper, you can just write it and say this one. So we talked about these ones, I think yesterday. Let's do another exercise. So this exercise is 10 words. Okay. It's saying for each of the case below, find the attached pronoun. What is the original pronoun that it came from? What does it mean? So number one, okay. What is number one say? Who's going to say from here? Brother, can you read this one? Read that first word. Kitabakuma. So what is there any attached pronoun there? Brother Manzu? In this first word, it's the kitabu kuma. So is there an attached pronoun? Kuma is the attached pronoun. Okay. So kuma is the attached pronoun. So what is the original version? So obviously this is mudaf ilay, because kitab has no alif lam, kitabu kuma. So we know that is the jar version. So kuma is the jar version of some of the original form. Which original form is that? Yeah, kuma.
Antuma.
No, antuma. Remember, anta becomes ka, antuma. So if we go back to the chart quickly, just to show you. See here, kuma. Okay, so it was originally antuma, which means both of you, and the nasab and jar become kuma. Okay, so kitabu kuma means, what will be the translation? Everybody knows what this kitab means.
Your book.
No, not your book is not a very good one. Both of your book, because it's kuma, because it's two. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, so in English you can say that your book. But when you read the Arabic, you know that Allah is talking about two persons. So Allah says, two of you. Like in a story of the garden, the two people have the owner of the garden, right? So they have the Jannatu Huma, meaning they have the garden, two of their garden, okay? So two of your garden. So this is our exercise basically. So we'll see attached pronoun. We just have to find out what is the pronoun, original pronoun. And because you should practice, so that we can have more understanding. Next one is tahtaki, tahtaki, and these words all from the Quran. All these words from the Quran, and I'll tell you from where. And this is from Surah Al-Baqarah. Tahtaki is Surah Al-Maryam. Okay, tahtaki. What does it mean? What is the pronoun attached to it? Ki is that. So what is the original form of ki? Anti. What is anti means? You. Feminine. You feminine. So Allah is talking with Maryam. Tahti means underneath. So underneath you. Allah said, because Allah said underneath, look at underneath you, there will be water. When she was in the Isa and in a pregnancy, that's what Allah was saying there. So tahti ki is the key, is the anti, and it is attached. It is obviously mudaf ilayh. Okay, all of them are mudaf ilayh. Sahibi, sahibahuma. Sahib means companions, your friend. Okay, sahibahuma. Okay. So what is the attached pronoun? Huma. Huma is the original form of. Huma is huma. And huma means what? Both of them. Both of them, and it could be feminine and masculine, because that's what our chart says. The middle one, huma, is the same version as huma. Sometimes it becomes hima, but I think there's only one or two places in the Quran Allah uses hima, but most of the time it's huma. So huma is huma, even its rafa version is huma, nasab and jar version is huma, and masculine, feminine both is huma. So sahibu huma means that both of your friend. Both of your friend, okay? Or you can say friend of both of you, but both of them, not you. Friend of both of them, okay? This is how I am, and a better translation, both of their friend, okay? This one is zilzalaha. Everybody know this surah, right? إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. Okay? So what is the attached pronoun here? Ha, right? And ha is the original form of what? If ha is the attached pronoun, what is the original pronoun? Hiya. Okay? So hiya means she. Hiya means she. So in this surah, as you all know the surah, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ Ardu zilzalaha. So Allah is calling Ard, meaning the world, as she. Right? Otherwise Allah would have said إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهُ or zilzalahi, who or he. But he's saying zilzalaha. Why Allah is calling Ard she? Who can tell me? You know the answer.
Ard is feminine.
Ard is feminine. How do you know Ard is feminine? Because the Arab says so. The story that we did, there's Ard was one of the words. So that's why Arad is feminine. So if someone memorized this and said, zilzalahu or zilzalahi, that's wrong. Okay? So if you learn this thing, and slowly you will see, it will be so easy for you to memorization also, and also to understand, inshallah. So zilzalaha means, the earthquake of her, or you can say her shaking. Okay? Whatever you can translate that. Okay? Now this one, nafsaka. Nafsaka. What is the attached pronoun? Ka. And ka is the original form of anta. Anta means you, masculine. You, masculine. Nafsaka. Allah is talking about who here? Allah is talking about Prophet Muhammad. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاقِيٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَّمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَٰذَا الْحَدِيثِ الْأَمَانَةِ. In the Surah Al-Kahf. Okay. Now, next one, qaidahum. You also know, a lot of people know this surah, right? Which surah has this?
Surah Fil.
Yeah, Surah Fil also, and another surah, Surah Tariq. Surah Tariq also has this, right? Okay. Qaidahum. Yeah, Surah Fil is the most common. I think a lot of people know Surah. So qaida means plan. Okay. So qaidahum. Whom is the original form of? Whom. Whom is the original of whom. So whom becomes whom because they means they. So their plan or plan of their. Okay. And this is also mudaf munad. Mawazinihi. Same Surah Al-Qariya. Mawazinihi. So mawazin means scale. The measurement scale, and he is the original form of huwa. So huwa becomes either who or he. So mawazinihi means, and obviously, see, this is also mudaf ilayh because there's no alif lam in the beginning. This is it is light, so this is mawazinihi. Same thing, rasulihi. We did it here. His rasul, his Rasul. He means his Rasul. Ummaki. Ummaki. Brother Shiraz, what is the attached pronoun in ummaki? Ki. And what is the original form?
Here.
No. Look at the chart.
Anti.
Anti. Anti means
Anti means feminine form of
you. Feminine form of you. So Allah is talking about again Maryam alayhi salam. Ummaki means your mother. Your feminine. Allah talking to a feminine person. Your mother. Means mother. Everybody knows that. And the last one is Ashuddahuma. Ashuddahuma. Again Huma. And as you know, the Huma finishing with an alif, it is the Huma. Huma's original form is also Huma. That means both of them. Okay? And Ashaddu probably means maturity. So the maturity of both of them. When they became mature, when they became young. So the maturity of both of them. Okay? So we'll look at the answer. Yeah, all looks the same. I think all of you answered it correctly. So there's the answer there. I'll send this one to you so you can practice more, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? Now, I'm just going to show you one example from the Quran, and you will, inshallah ta'ala, you will appreciate that, how even by learning only this much, we haven't learned nothing, we have only done few lessons, we have a long way to go, inshallah ta'ala. But even with this one, you will see the difference of understanding the Quran. So look at this ayah. It's a big ayah, don't worry about the reading. It's the ayah from Surah Al-Kahf, okay, where the story goes like this. You all know this story. Musa alayhi salam and Khidr was going in a journey, right? And the Khidr did three things that Musa initially didn't understand why he's doing this. He broke the sheep, okay? He killed a boy, and then he went to a town, built a wall, and the people of the town didn't even pay them, didn't even give them food, although they were starving. So Musa was surprised. He was asking Khidr, why did you do this? So every time he was asking why, okay? So at the end, Khidr said, no, you don't have any patience, so I'm going to explain these three things to you, and then bye-bye, that's why you can go your way. So he is explaining the third thing here, okay? So he's saying that, we build this wall, because this wall, underneath this wall, there is some treasure, okay? And this belongs to two yatim boys, okay? It belongs to two yatim boys. And their dad was a righteous man. So we did it to help them. So now they're grown up, and that's why I raised the wall. So these two boys, these two Ghulam boys, the 18 boys, now they're grown up, they can come and get their treasures. So that's the story. I think you all know more or less about this, right? Now, so this is the normal ayah, and if you read it, if you look at the English translation, it says here that there was under it a treasure belonging to them. I want to pay attention to this here. Treasure belonging to them. And then in the same ayah, Allah says, their treasure. Okay? In English, it's the same thing. The treasure belonging to them, their treasure. It makes sense. It's the same thing, right? And Allah could have used the same type of word, okay? Whatever it means. But Allah didn't use this way, okay? Look at this. The first time, Allah said, Kanzun lahuma. Kanzun lahuma. Like the first kanzun means treasure. Is it light or heavy? Heavy. Can it be mudaf ilay? No. It cannot be mudaf, because the rule is mudaf ilay, it cannot have al, that condition is fine, but it cannot be light. It has to be heavy. It cannot be heavy, it has to be light. So this is heavy. So this is not mudaf ilay. And that's why kanzun, after that there is a la. La means for, okay? And huma means, as we just learned, huma means both of them, okay? So that means kanzun for both of them. Kanzulahuma, okay? Kanzulahuma, okay, both of them. Then Allah talks something other, and then Allah came here, now Allah said kanzahuma. So the la part is gone, and the kanza become light now. And huma is just an attached pronoun. So what is it now? Mudaf ilay, right? The difference is, when Allah talked about the first time, this treasure didn't belonging to them actually. It is not. It is for them, but they still don't have it in their hand. There's a distance between these two yatim and the treasure, because treasure is under the wall. They still don't own the treasure. But when Khidr and Musa alayhi salam build the wall, raise the wall, now they are grown up. Now Allah said kanzahuma, because it belongs to them now. There's nothing between them. It became a mudaf ilay. Okay. So if you read through the Quran, you will see these treasures. And there's so many of this in the Quran. And this makes proof that, this is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If anybody speak in normal language, they won't care about these things. They say, okay, it's the same thing, belonging to them. But no, Allah wants to prove, no. Before they were young, gulamaini, yatimaini. And if you read this ayah, you will see so many things you understand now. Allah said, gulamaini. What is maini? Muslimaini is the dual version, two of them, okay? You will find so many pronouns here also, okay? And like this one, before the one, tahtahu. Tahtahu, just say tahtaki. What is tahtahu means? Tahtahu means under his, okay? And here it is his, going to be translated as it, because Allah talking about the wall. Okay, so tahtahu. And then Allah said, kanzalahu, kanzun lahum. That is not mudaf, that is something else we're going to learn later on. So what is that? What type of fragment is that? But then Allah said this one. And just like this, remember we did the example of Maryam. Okay, although Maryam is a feminine, because Allah said, minal qanitin. Okay, so Allah put her in a high status. And sometimes, the critics of the Quran, like, the Orientalists, they look at this, they say, oh, this is a mistake, grammatical mistake. No, there is a reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put this way, to prove the point that, when in the earlier time, it didn't belong to them. There was something between them, the wall was between them, but later on, kanzulahuma became kanzahuma, because now they own the treasure. So inshallah ta'ala, we'll finish the lessons for the pronouns here, and I will send the exercise there. I also sent you a list of 50 vocabulary. So try to learn those vocabulary to increase your vocabulary. So, and these are all from the Quran. So when you listen to the Quran, you will be able to do this one. In 1 or 2 weeks' time, we will have the same thing. And next weekend, I think it's a long weekend. We don't have Sheikh Yusuf lecture, and I think a few brothers will be outside. So we're not going to have any classes next weekend, inshallah ta'ala. A week after that, we'll continue. And if you guys all agree, we'll continue in the time of Ramadan, like 10-15 minutes to refresh our memory. So jazakallahu khairan, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.